Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast, episode 43. Tonight, we're teeing off with some introductory thoughts on Mario Golf and putting in some Nintendo news, and then driving down some community questions, that and more. Right, my sound effect didn't go off. That's weird. That's okay. Well, I'll just add that in post. Well, Micah, I am joined by... I'm sorry, it threw me all off. I am joined tonight by my fellow Nintendo pal, Micah.
Yep.
And we are also joined by special guest, Stealth. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, thank you so much for agreeing to come on. And man, it's just really exciting to have someone who is so in the know on Nintendo stuffs. So it makes us feel like we're cooler than we actually are. Speaking of cooler than we actually are, Micah has an ice pack on his head for those listening to the audio version of the podcast. What's going on there, bud?
Yeah, well, it is 99 degrees outside, and I do not have any AC. And my recording room is in a little, room off of the garage, and it gets extra hot in here with my PC. So I would die if I didn't have these ice packs. It's so hot out here.
You're just hanging out with ice packs to keep you cool.
Yep. You just got to get 5 renewable, reusable ice packs, and you can just cycle them out.
Yeah, it might just be the video, but it looks like there's an actual sun right behind you, so...
Oh, yeah. The light reflecting off the wall.
Yeah, it does.
Sums up how it feels in here pretty good.
It's like a sauna. Yeah, it's been warm. Stealth, how are things weather-wise in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, it's summer. It's warm where I live, for sure, but thankfully today wasn't so bad, actually. It was bearable.
Nice. So here on the East Coast, it has been rainy. It has been raining just straight for the past week or so, but it's still been really hot. Kind of a weird combo. It's like going outside, it's just like stepping into a warm shower. It's also muggy and gross.
Nice. Yeah.
But that's weather. That's just summertime in this part of the country. Well, with this very heated intro, I guess we'll jump right into the first segment of our show and talk some Nintendo news. And I did it again, Micah. Our first
Instead
segment
of
is
Whatcha
actually
Playin?
Whatcha Playin. Yeah. Someday I'll remember the order of our segments.
We just like to test our viewers, see if they notice.
Oh, were you paying attention? Because what are we playing? Stealth, as our guest, would you like to kick things off? What have you been playing lately?
Sure. So, I've been playing the latest Nintendo release. In fact, I've been playing it all day, Mario Golf, which I know we'll be talking about. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I've been playing, since I got it yesterday.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice. So are you far into the campaign mode, story mode?
Well, I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure how long it is, so I don't really know how far I am in comparison. But I am a good, I'd say, 4 to 5 hours into it. Haven't faced the boss yet, so I don't know if that kind of indicates where I am. But yeah, I haven't really played any online yet. I've really just been playing the story mode, which I like. It's not exactly like The Last of Us, in terms of how deep the story mode is. But for a golf game, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to be in a Nintendo world where you're walking around. It's very not Nintendo, I think the only time you get into to walk around and talk to the locals in Mario games is Paper Mario. It feels
it feels like a Mario RPG kind of town. They've
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm digging that part of it. But I am not far into the story mode at all. I just got my clubs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've just barely started because with my kids, we've just been playing the multiplayer since we got it. We got our copy this afternoon. Finally, it got here in the mail. I pre-ordered late through Amazon, so I didn't get it day one.
I pre-ordered through Amazon too, but I always pay the extra amount that's highway robbery just to get it on the same day. So
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
Well, hey, you're getting your time out of it, so you're
yeah,
4 or 5 hours in, and you haven't faced a boss yet. That's actually pretty surprising because
no, I haven't. I haven't faced any bosses yet.
reviews made it seem like the story mode was pretty short.
Maybe I mean, and I've been to a few of the areas now, and I haven't faced any bosses at all.
Maybe the trailer. Maybe there's only one boss that's in the trailer.
I mean, honestly, they did hide a lot. And I guess we're talking about the game now.
Yeah, go for it.
They only showed off the one like main like green kind of hub town, but like each course has its own town thing.
Okay.
And they didn't show any of those. So, I really don't know exactly how long it is, how many bosses, where they are. They kind of kept a lot of that hidden. But yeah, I definitely have enjoyed it. And yeah, I mean, it's Mario Golf. You know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah. Yeah. I have really enjoyed. Have you played much of the multiplayer? I was just gonna ask.
I haven't. No.
So I've played only local multiplayer. We're planning on playing some after the show with I know some folks in the community are planning on hopping on, so we're gonna be jumping in and playing some of the online. But for the local, I've been really enjoying it so far. There's a lot of options, a lot more than I guess I thought there'd be. We tried the motion control first, thinking that would be the easier route for the kids. It's actually pretty tough to do the motion control by comparison to just the regular. And also it has split screen multiplayer that you can do, so you can both be playing regular golf at the same time. So you don't have to be going in the traditional like turn-based golf, which I thought was really nice for local two-player. Speed golf. Did you get a chance to try that at all, Seth?
Yeah. Actually, the story mode is like 99% speed golf. It's very little turn based. And versus the computers, I enjoy it. It definitely does. The addition of a timer just adds to my anxiety in general. It's not so bad, but yeah, I really do enjoy it. What I like about like the one turn-based golf section so far is they have what was in the previous golf games where you do the hole and then you see the leaderboard. And I've really enjoyed seeing the names that they put in the leaderboard. You see like the Koopa Kids, characters not in the game at all,
Oh, nice.
on the leaderboard. And I was hoping they would have that, and I don't think we ever saw that. So, and I've only seen that once because in the story mode, there's only been like one actual turn-based golf tournament so far. It's all been speed golf. But yeah, I mean, speed golf is fun. It can definitely it's gonna ruin friendships. Let me put it that way, because you can like knock into people, and you can target pretty good, so you can really mess someone up pretty badly.
Yeah, I was having a blast playing it with my son. We're just ramming each other with different characters, and like their different special shots affect each other's balls. It's pretty fun. And yeah, it's very chaotic, which is very not what I'm used to for a golf game. So
Yeah.
uh, just like full disclosure, this is my first time with a Mario Golf game. I have not played any previous entries in the series, so this is my first experience with how the games go, and I don't know if this kind of chaos was normal in the previous games. I just kind of
Never.
okay. I just kind of was expecting it to be a little bit more of a relaxing game, because golf is kind of like that's what it is.
Yeah.
But even in like the regular modes, it felt very like upbeat and not 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 in like a crazy way, but it wasn't what I would describe as relaxing, if that makes any sense. the atmosphere was like weird. Yeah. So that's awesome. Anything else you want to highlight that you've been playing?
Well, I got re-addicted to Hades again,
Nice.
where
Nice.
basically I started the game, and for the life of me, I couldn't beat it. I couldn't even beat it once, so I put it down for like 3 or 4 months, and then literally the first day I picked it back up again, I finally beat Hades. I finally beat the game, so that kind of like re-energized me to keep going and keep playing it. So, I've pretty much done everything I can do in Hades. There's really nothing more I can do, but I put 100 hours into that game. It's so good. And I finished that just in time for Mario Golf, but that's like been my other obsession.
Man, that's like a good contrast of games to be playing too. You got
Yeah.
going on the one side like a beat 'em up, and then the other one a golf game.
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing a lot of RPGs over the next month, two. So I wanted to play some not RPGs basically before like it all, comes in one fell swoop.
Yeah. Hades is a fan favorite here in the Nintendo Pals realm. Micah, how many hours have you put into that game, Micah?
Um, I have no idea. Probably around 60, I think.
Okay.
Maybe a little more, actually.
And you've
I
you've
haven't.
100%ed it at this point, right?
Ish. I think I've done everything, pretty much everything story related. I'm like not. I haven't like 100%ed like all the friendships and relationships you
Yeah.
can. And I mean, there's so many like decorative things you can buy. I'm not even like close to all that.
Yeah, those are like there's like so many decorative things, and it's like it's so expensive, and you like get those random I don't remember what they're called, like the material drops in order to purchase.
And so I think
Yeah,
that
like the
everything's called gems.
gems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are actually pretty hard to find when you're looking for them. It's
Yeah, you like the room clearing bonus, you get like 10, and you're like, oh man, what can I buy? Well, there's a tapestry for 1,000, so
yeah, that's
take me a while
exactly
to save up for that.
it. Yeah, so that's that's Hades, I guess. Uh, nice. Well, you have anything else you want to highlight, Stealth? Not.
That's really it. That's like all I've been playing for
We're
like the last
gearing.
like
You're
month.
gearing up for a full year. That's how it's been for for the last little bit. It's like there hasn't been anything, and I think Mario Golf is like the cork popping off the cap, and we're just gonna be
Well,
flooded with games.
and I mean, in terms of Nintendo first party, now they have a game every month until the end of the year.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, yep. So Micah,
and
what?
sometimes two.
Yep,
So,
yeah, yes. Micah, what have you been playing lately?
Well, I've mostly been playing some Doom Eternal, so that's probably even less relaxing than Mario Golf. I know I've like jokingly said that I like to relax to Doom games, and I'm pretty sure Doom Eternal is like the most stressful game I've ever played in my life. It's just like so chaotic, and you just always got to keep moving or you're dead. But
Yeah,
it's a blast.
I had heard that the sequel was like way more challenging than the first one, and you've played both, so like comparing the two.
Yeah, so far I'd actually say it might be a little easier, but that's probably just because I kind of know what I'm getting into now. They've added in a couple new things, so they have like dashing, which is really cool. You can like dash in any direction. You're holding the thumbstick, so you don't have to be facing that direction, and it's made combat really cool, I think.
Nice, cool.
And they've also added extra lives you can find, so you don't have to go back to the last checkpoint if you have some of those. That's helped out, but yeah, it's pretty challenging though.
Yeah, those. Did you see the? Well, I guess we'll talk about that in the Nintendo news. The thing I sent towards you for Gamebuilder Garage, but Doom, nice.
And
Micah
I
is
think
not a lip service fan. He's playing Doom.
yeah, I hate Doom Eternal. It's on the Switch. Technically, I could be playing on the Switch. Actually, it'd probably run better if I was playing on the Switch. I got my PC, but it's a very weak graphics card, so it struggles pretty hard even with the the settings all the way down.
Yep. Anything else you want to highlight you've been playing?
Besides that, I played Fortnite once last week.
Nice.
They have these new little purple aliens that go onto your head and steal some of your life, but then boost your speed and jumping capabilities.
Yeah,
So
those are
that
pretty
was
scary.
unexpected.
Yeah, I had no idea what was going on.
I saw like sucking my life out, and I was like, "How do I get this off?" It was pretty cool.
You did figure it out though. Like if you jump into water, it comes off.
Oh yeah, apparently yeah. At some, it only takes a certain amount of your health, and then gives you those stat bonuses, I guess. But yeah, if you jump into water, supposedly they hop off. At least it did when I did the one time. Yeah. Besides that, I played one round of Monster Train. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's on the Game Pass.
Nope.
It's kind of like a deck building roguelike.
I mean, can we talk about it here? I mean, you're talking about Game Pass games. I'm just kidding.
I'm getting pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah. That's like I agreed to come to a Nintendo show.
I had to shout it out for Eli Oso because he recommended it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's only played that one time if it makes you feel better.
Yeah, he did force us to get Game Pass. So
yeah, well, he forced Andros to get Game Pass.
Those Game Pass people, they're real intense about Game Pass, you know.
And it's $1 for 3 months. You can't pass that up.
That's true. It's a good deal. Well, then I guess I'll talk about what I've been playing. I too got and have been playing most of today Mario Golf. I have, like I said, I haven't dived too much into the single player just because playing with the family. We did a lot of the multiplayer modes. I haven't tried Battle Golf. I do want to try that out. It looks really fun, but I thought that might be a little challenging for my kiddos, so didn't touch that one. I like it so far. I really enjoy golf games. I don't play too many. I'm not.
Have you played a golf game that's not Wii Sports?
Yes. Gosh, what is it? It was a. I don't remember. It's like the famous arcade one where you like spin the ball to
Bowling?
hit your shots. No, it's like an arcade machine, and to golf, it's like a trackball.
Oh, yeah, because I played bowling at the arcades with that.
Yeah.
I've never played golf.
Yeah. So you spin that to get it up. Oh yeah, golf in 51 games.
Yeah, 51. Yeah, but that's the same thing as
Wii
Sports golf.
It's not. It's actually a lot worse. It's still fun. I actually really like it. I've played quite a bit of that in 51 games. Wii Sports golf, I love. I love. And so I really wanted a good Nintendo golf game, and Mario Golf was announced and it looked really fun. I am really liking it, and I like the Mario mix to the sport. So I actually enjoyed. I don't play too often, but or like at all, but I enjoy playing golf in real life. It's just I don't know. It's a really relaxing game, and that's I guess what I was coming in thinking like, oh, this is gonna be so nice. I'm gonna be Waluigi driving golf balls down with some like nice chill Wii Sports music in the background. No, it's pretty intense and very like the theme that they're going for with the game is very much like you're a rising sports star, and so everything's very dramatic ESPN looking overlay on the levels, and but it's still a blast. I'm really enjoying it so far.
I just want like a crossover with when they have the speed golf with the Doom soundtrack. Like that would match pretty well.
Yeah. I have only played on like 2 levels, so I don't know if the music changes much, but I haven't noticed the music too much in the game, so I can't like highlight that as a big feature. There's some decisions that they made with like the UI that I'm a little confused by. In order to change modes, you have to back all the way out to the main menu and then go in, and every time you have to pick how many people are playing and then sync your controllers and then get in and pick your character.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah, it feels a little clunky, especially by comparison to other multiplayer Mario games like Mario Kart, Mario Party. But oh well. I don't know if Mario Aces was like this. I did not pick Mario Aces up. Besides that, I also just did a marathon of Mario games for stream. I was doing a coinless challenge where I was playing through each game, and if I hit a coin, I had to end the game and go to the next game. And I was really hopeful I'd be able to beat some of the original ones just because, you know, they're pretty short. You can clear through Mario 1 if you're taking the warp pipes. You can clear through that in like 20 minutes. But no, I didn't. I didn't beat a single game. It was pretty fun. It was probably the most fun I've had streaming, just because it was like a fun kind of challenge sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm gonna probably do some more challenges like that. I want to do like a Donkey Kong with no bananas runs, and maybe try Zelda no rupees. Yeah, we had a blast with that. It was a good time. So definitely check out our Twitch stream. We'll be randomly doing games like that. Well, with that, I guess let's jump into now the Nintendo news. And for today's news, we have it's actually a pretty light news week because of E3. You know, we're still in the fallout of the E3 effects. But we will be. We got to get Stealth. We got to get your. I guess we'll start with that. Stealth. What did you think of Nintendo's E3? Like high level thoughts. What was your favorite parts?
You know, obviously, I mean, honestly, I've liked all Nintendo Directs pretty much for like the last 2-3 years. They've sort of hit their stride, so I thought it was very good. I'm not really a Metroid fan, which is funny. I've only beaten one Metroid game in my life. So while I'm excited to get into this series with Metroid Dread more, that wasn't like the oh my god game for me. That was actually Advance Wars, which
All
people
right.
who follow me on Twitter know I've been campaigning for that game for a very long time. And I actually predicted, like I do every E3, that it'll be there, and I was finally right. It's usually a joke where I just, it's one of my predictions. I say Advance Wars is going to get announced, and everyone laughs at me, but I had the last laugh this year. Yeah, I mean, just a lot of good stuff. It's funny. I'm drawing a blank now. I'm trying to go through from beginning to end. Obviously starting with Smash Brothers. That's everyone knows you started a Nintendo Direct with Smash Brothers if you have it. So that was great. Yeah, Advance Wars was good. Monster Hunter Stories 2 was good. Shin Megami Tensei 5 looked amazing. So yeah, there's just a lot of stuff for me in there. Yeah, and even Super Monkey Ball was a great announcement. Like I love Super Monkey Ball. So that's gonna be fun. I thought it was great, honestly.
Yeah, there's like we watched it and I was just so pumped for so many announcements. Nothing. I don't think anything in there's like Grand Slam. For me, besides I'm pretty hyped for Metroid Dread. I am in the same boat as you, Stealth. I have never beat a Metroid game. I played a lot of Metroid Fusion. I got stuck and never finished as a wee lad. But I loved it, and so I'm really excited for the sequel to that. But Breath of the Wild 2, I guess, would probably be
Oh yeah.
the heavy hitter for me. But then they dropped the date of next year. I was a little sad.
Yeah, still hoping it'd be this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody pretty much knew, like, okay, after you watch that trailer, you're like, there's so much in here. This is not coming this year.
Yeah, but the game is definitely much farther along than people think it is. Like, I mean, it could honestly be early 2020. It could be early 2022.
Yeah.
Or mid 2022. Like I don't think it's right to automatically assume that's going to be releasing during the holidays. Even though that's probably where they're going to slate it. I think it probably is mostly ready, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just a little concerned because I think they said they were targeting a 2022
Yeah, that's
release.
what they say to cover themselves.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be like the first Zelda game that hasn't been delayed, though.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, I was pumped for E3. It was just good to have it back because we didn't have a direct last year at all. And honestly, I don't think this is the last direct of the year. I think there's going to be one more September, October. So considering that, I think it was pretty good. And most of the games were this year. There wasn't a whole lot that they talked about for 2022. So there's a lot to be excited for the rest of this year.
Yeah, and they absolutely killed it with showing trailers that highlighted gameplay. A lot of gameplay.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of that stuff's coming out this year, where a lot of the E3 presentations by everybody else were things. There was a lot more for next year, and so there wasn't as much gameplay to show, probably. Um, I think they even joked about it with that Outer Worlds 2 trailer. That was like,
Oh yeah,
we got this
that was
epic
great.
trailer, but we have
say
nothing
goodbye to
ready
this because
show.
you'll never see it again.
Yeah. That was a good time. So E3 was great. So in this E3 Fallout, we don't have a ton of news, but let's talk a little bit about what news we do have. So because Mario Golf just came out, there was a flood of early reviews, and the reviews were pretty mixed from what I was seeing. I saw a lot of critics giving it really high scores, and then some giving it actually pretty dang low scores. I saw some 4s and 5s out in the wild. I don't know how reputable those sources are, but among critics, like that was kind of it. It shook up a lot of people. I was seeing a lot of people like going like, oh no, because the online tournament feature not being there was a big deal breaker, and maybe that's because I run in a lot of podcasting communities, so a lot of the stuff I see is from influencer type folks, that people that are concerned with tournament mode more than maybe the average player. I don't know. What were your guys' thoughts on all the reviews floating around out there? Did it scare you towards getting the game?
It didn't really affect me too much. I think I feel like it's a pretty niche game, and I feel like a lot of people that are kind of having to review it for their jobs or whatever, it's not really their cup of tea, and they're not gonna review it too well. But it seems like most of the people I know that have played it have enjoyed it.
Yeah. Stealth, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't give reviews much thought. I mean, I post, a review roundup on Twitter, because everyone seems to like that. But in terms of like, would a review actually affect my purchase of a game? Never. You know, the way I think about it, and the way a lot of people talk about it, is like a review should never impact your opinion to buy a game, but usually it reinforces someone who was never going to get the game in the first place. So like if someone who was never going to get Mario Golf sees like a 5, they're like, oh yeah, I'll never get it anyway. So that's kind of where I think reviews are, but didn't scare me because honestly, a lot of the Mario sports games do get really good reviews and some really bad reviews. It just really depends. And from what I've played, I would probably lean more toward the higher side, but the game is going to get a lot more fleshed out with the DLC. There's going to be a lot more characters, which really doesn't matter for golf at all. But it's really the courses that matter, and they're going to be adding a lot more courses. So, the game as it is today isn't going to be the same game as it will be, a year from now. And those reviews aren't probably going to be relevant anymore.
Yeah, that is a good point to make with the DLC coming, because the course they teased Well, I don't know, it might be in the game, but I don't think it is. The New Donk City.
It's a new dog. It's not in the game yet.
Yeah, that looked really different and really
Yeah.
insane. So
Where you have to like bounce the golf ball off the buildings, and yeah, that looks crazy. But that's sort of what the game is missing a little bit right now. Kind of like the crazy zany courses like Mario Golf World Tour on 3DS had like an underwater course, and there's always like the kind of more whimsical Mario Universe courses. And at least from what I've played so far, this game really doesn't have that. So that's kind of what I'm hoping that they're going to add, starting with New Donk City.
Yeah, I just want the courses to get insane. Just the crazier,
Yeah,
the better.
yeah. The ones I've played, they've been like regular. It's like if I'm playing, if I'm playing at the Masters or something, if I'm playing actual golf, that's kind of how the courses feel.
and then they like throw in, because I've unlocked one, and they like throw in some Mario enemies as obstacles on like a
Yeah,
real world golf course.
yeah. That's kind of what it is right now.
Yeah, I'm hopeful as well that we get some zanier courses, and I really like that they're pulling straight from Odyssey inspiration for that course. They could do that some more. Just take up all the kingdoms from Mario Odyssey, and each of those gets a little golf course.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Luncheon, that would be super fun.
Yeah.
All those would be really fun to play golf on. Um, what? So Stealth, you played the 3DS Mario Golf. What were your thoughts on some like the differences between the two games? Do you feel like this is a good sequel, or do you feel like 3DS was better in your experience so far? I mean, this is really early. I think the game came
Yeah,
out yesterday.
I mean, right now I would say the 3DS game is probably the best Mario Golf. Um, this game is just missing some of the wacky courses. It needs the DLC, and then I could reevaluate. But yeah, right now I'd say maybe it's like the third best Mario Golf game out of like four. So I wouldn't put it in that upper echelon, but I'm still having fun with it.
Do you say this is worth the $60?
Well, it's there. I mean, honestly, I during the SNES days, I was paying $100 for some game. So what's worth to me is not the same for other people.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah, it also depends on how much money you have.
yeah, I mean, I bought it for $60, so clearly I thought it was worth the $60. So in fact, I
So
paid
no
more.
regret though, right?
In fact, for the day one shipping, I think I paid something like $75 on Amazon for it. So I'm gonna say it's worth, and this is maybe gonna get me some hate, but it's worth more than $60.
Oh, there you go. I mean, value in games is such a tricky subject. We won't get into that here. We could do a whole episode on that. But it's always interesting to hear what people think post buying a game. There have been very few purchases in the gaming sphere where I've gone and been like, that wasn't worth this amount. Most of the time, I'm pretty okay with paying $60 for a first party Nintendo game. I didn't pay $60 for this. I actually got this on sale through Amazon Prime Day, so my pre-order was $40. And I think
That's
it's
good for
definitely
you. I missed Amazon Prime Day, so
I think it's definitely worth $40 based off of my experience today. I'm like, oh yeah, this is like it's like so worth it. Well, I guess let's move out of Mario Golf Zone and talk some other upcoming games. We got Skyward Sword, which comes out next month. Dropped a trailer highlighting some enhanced features for the Skyward Sword HD version. And the one that stood out to me that they hadn't really mentioned yet was quality of life enhancements that can be found in the such as in the player tutorials and guidance through the adventure. And it's phrased very specifically that, and it makes me think that they are going to be toning down the Fi influence, the Fee. I don't. Is it Fi? Fee? I don't.
I think I've always said fee.
Fee.
I think it's Fi. I think
It's Fi.
Is it? Oh no.
Fee,
I think
Fi,
so.
Fo, Fum.
I don't think it matters.
But
Just bring back Navi.
Well, Navi was also kind of obnoxious. The constant pop-ups of, but Fi is probably like peak annoying helper character in Zelda. Uh, and I know that was a big complaint from a lot of people. Like, she really held your
Yeah,
hand through the
her
adventure.
notification popped up way too much. And I think they are going to tone that down significantly.
Yeah. I do hope that they keep in the Master, the Wii remote battery is running low. Your Joy-Con battery is running low.
They have to keep that.
They gotta keep that. But yeah, I do remember, there was never a point. I think they were trying to make it very newcomer friendly, but they just overdid it with Fi in that game, because it's like there was never a point I didn't know what to do. If I wandered for much more than like 2 minutes, she would pop up and be like, "You should go here. Try pointing your sword this way." Like, it was very handholdy in the tutorial zone. But that wasn't like the defining experience for me in the game. It didn't bother me enough that I would have even pointed it out. So it's mostly just what I see and hear people complain about for Skyward Sword. Uh, and then tutorials. I don't remember tutorials even being like in the way. I don't really remember too much. I mean, this game is now a decade old. That's what's weird.
Yeah, I don't remember like anything of this game. I just remember there's some weird toilet ghost at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
And Groose has
Yep.
some nice hair.
Groose has the best hair. That's for sure. We, yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to revisit because it's been long enough. Is this one you're picking up stealth?
I am. I like Skyward Sword on the Wii. I'm gonna like it again.
Nice. Yeah.
Question is, are you going to be using the fancy non-motion controls this time, or
Yeah,
still
I don't
motion?
use motion controls. I don't. I hate motion controls, as a matter of fact. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna be going. You know, well, I like the button controls in Skyward Sword. I mean, I like the motion controls in Skyward Sword. They didn't bother me. But given the option, I'm a button person.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I still am on the fence. I want to get that new Zelda Joy-Con bundle if it ever comes back in stock and isn't scalped to oblivion.
Good luck.
But I feel like the motion controls are kind of the way to play. But at the same time, I do want to try. I do like just playing with a pro controller. I want to be able to just play, and it'd be nice to just play in handheld as needed. Micah, I can't remember if you were picking this one up or not.
Probably not. I could just hook up my Wii, play some
Just
Skyward Sword.
play it again
I
on the
like the
Wii.
motion controls.
Yeah, I'm excited to play this again. I'm looking forward to it because it's been long enough that I've forgotten pretty much everything that happens. Yeah, so it's gonna be like a new game. My old man amnesia will make this game new again.
I
Well,
sound like my parents when they watch movies.
yeah.
Like, oh, we've never seen this. I was like, no, yeah, we saw that like 6 months ago.
That is gonna be nice, when we're all in our retirement homes playing whatever Switch 360. We'll be able to play the same game over and over again and just have surprises over and over again. Speaking of surprises, Mario Lego has put out a trailer showcasing the interactivity between Lego Luigi and Lego Mario. It's a very interesting trailer with these kids doing choreographed dancing with the Legos. But probably the most exciting part about the trailer is at the very end, the cool dad comes in and he's bought his kids a Lego airship, like a Mario Bros. 3 airship. And so a new set coming, and it looks really nice. Stealth, I don't know, are you into the Lego Mario stuff?
No. I have not played with Legos in a very long time. I do see when I'm out at Target, I do see like the Lego sets, and they're very, very popular actually. They're big. I think they're gonna be big holiday items, but I don't collect the Legos. I don't follow it really. I did watch the commercial though, and I did like it.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with the commercial.
It was definitely catchy.
Yeah, they've done. I think they've done really good with the marketing for the Lego Mario stuff.
Yeah, I want a Lego Mario video game. That's what I want.
There we go. That would be sweet.
Yeah,
That would
like
be
that
awesome.
could work well, but they just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I've never even thought of that. That's a great idea. Doug Bowser, we know you listen to the show, so take that one over to Lego for us. um, that's yeah. So Lego Airship, I thought it looked really cool. It just really makes me sad that we're probably not going to get any Zelda Lego sets. I think a nice like Hyrule Castle would be really cool, like a really nice display piece. Uh, I have I am not into collecting Legos. My kids play a lot of Legos. So I've wanted to pick up this set for them, but it's a
Yeah,
little
for
pricey.
them.
It's a little pricey. They're pretty spendy. Legos in general. That's not just Mario. That's not just a Mario problem, but Lego in general is just like a lot.
Yeah, a little too rich for my blood.
Yeah, yeah. And then you buy them, and the kids don't even play with them. You know what I'm saying? Like
They do a
they'll
couple times and then they're done.
and then they're back to like pulling pots and pans out of the kitchen and playing with those. Like toys toys can be uh very
Found
finicky with
anywhere
children.
when
Yeah.
you're young.
Yes. Uh so I guess the next gaming news piece I want to talk about Gamebuilder Garage. I have been seeing a lot of insanely cool creations for Gamebuilder Garage online. I want to highlight a couple here that I saw. I saw a fully playable Sonic the Hedgehog game. Uh, Doom. That was one I was hinting at earlier, Micah. Did you get a chance to look at that
Yeah, I
trailer I
saw
sent you?
that.
I
It's
thought that was
a little
hilarious.
more family friendly.
Doom.
The Doom I've been playing through.
There was also F Zero. F Zero lives on. Nintendo's not going to make it. Fans will make it for them. And there's many more creations out there. Anything you guys have seen that you've thought has been pretty cool in the Game Builder Garage stuff?
I think I've seen most of the same ones as you. Maybe I missed it, but you mentioned I saw one for Mario Kart.
Oh, I didn't see. No, I saw
That
that
was
one. I
pretty
didn't
cool.
mention that one. Yeah,
I
I
guess
mean, I'm
I'm
assuming it's not as good as the actual Mario Kart, but still pretty cool.
it looks very good for Game Builder Garage. Like the things that I'm seeing in there based off of um you can't create your own assets other than the 2D, and those 3D assets are basically set. You have the set ones that come with the game, and the amount of stuff people have been able to do with just that limited scope has kind of been mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, this is one where I was like, I'm probably not going to pick it up, but I mean, now that I've been seeing more of these things, I'm getting a little more tempted to pick it up.
Just so you can play other people's creations.
Yeah, I mean, I probably won't make anything. Just like in Mario Maker, I made two absolutely terrible levels that I spent 5 minutes on, maybe, but then I spent dozens of hours playing other people's.
Yeah, yeah. Stealth. You seen any Game Builder Garage stuff out there?
Yeah, I guess this makes me a bad Nintendo fan again because I just haven't been following Game Builder Garage at all. I think it's a cool concept for people to learn how to program, but it just holds no interest for me. I'm looking to play Nintendo's games, not facsimiles of them from other people, unfortunately. But I do like that this exists and that people are having fun with it.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that we get more like this in the future and maybe a little less restricted on the asset creation stuff. Because if a lot of people were like comparing this to PlayStation's Dream, uh, the which was like a game maker creating tool. and this is definitely much more limited in what you can do as far as like the artwork goes. And if they just open that up or just put more assets that you could use in it, I feel like this could be very much a Mario Maker situation where it's like everybody wants to buy it just to play other people's cool creations, you know. But right now everything looks like, oh, that was made in Gamebuilder Garage. It's cool that they did it, but it still looks like you can tell, you know, that it's not quite right in its look. It's so cool though what the creative minds out there have been doing. We talked about this in a previous episode, but the Miitopia, all the Miis that were out there, once they opened up that Mii making tool, even in the demo, like I was seeing so many cool creations, so many artistic people out there that make the game so much more fun for people like myself that are not artistic. I could just go in and look up cool Miis to put into my game. So kudos to all those Gamebuilder Garage people that are making really cool projects in there. And special kudos to the people keeping F-Zero alive doing that. Because we know Nintendo's not doing that, so someone's got to do it. Speaking of Nintendo and support, Nintendo is giving Forever Entertainment some financial support to publish more Switch games. This is the game, probably the most popular thing that they made is the Panzer Dragoon remake. But they've done a lot of. I looked up like their list of things they've made. They've done a lot of random stuff. Thief Simulator was one I saw that I've seen on the eShop a bunch. There's like a lot of small indie titles. So I mean, this is kind of bottom of the barrel news, but it's cool that Nintendo is kind of partnering financially with these third parties, even like on the indie side of things, to make new games.
Yeah, they've already been making exclusives or timed exclusives for Switch anyway. So we really don't know like what games they're possibly working on with Nintendo. Forever actually signed a deal with Square Enix, also very similar, for remakes for them too. I don't think the two are related, but yeah, I mean honestly, I think they're very talented, and Panzer Dragoon didn't exactly age well as it is. If they're given a Nintendo game, I think it'll fare much better.
Yeah. So you're thinking that they'll be mainly focusing on remakes of their existing IPs.
Yes.
Which makes
because it's really all. I think it said that. Does it say that? I don't know if it said that in the press release. But that's basically what they do.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see the press release exactly, so this is like hearsay news.
Yeah, I mean it's in Polish, honestly, and everyone had to Google translate it.
Yeah, so we're all kind of in the dark on exactly what they're getting money for. Maybe it was just a gift. Hey, here you go, have some money on us. Nintendo certainly is doing well financially, so it's cool that they're putting just tons of investments out there into lots of different places. Acquiring, was it Retro Studios that they acquired?
Next Level Games.
Next Level Games. What was it? Why was I thinking Retro?
Got Metroid on the brain.
That's yes, they already acquired Retro.
No, well, they didn't acquire them. They built the studio. It wasn't like an acquisition.
Yes, they already own Retro. I'm tired. That's all. That's my excuse for today. Well, that we're talking Metroid, so that's a good transition to the next segment of our show, which we're going to be talking about things in the rumor mill. Okay, so I don't know why I used this transition. This has nothing to do with Metroid. But we got Makoto Asada who was in charge of bringing and making the new Famicom Detective Club games. In an interview, stated that he wants to make more, wants to do more for that series. and so that's kind of generated some hubbub about what we could see the future of that series with Nintendo. I think that's a really good idea, honestly. Nintendo doesn't really have like a visual novel game. Not that that's like a genre they need to have, but they're really high quality remakes of those games. So a sequel, I think, isn't there a third game as well? I can see.
No,
There's
there's
not.
only the two.
I thought there was another Famicom Detective Club game. I'm making
No.
stuff up. Well, a sequel would be awesome. I think.
I think what you may be thinking of is the NES versions were split into two. So like the first game of our remake was 2 games, and then the second game was like 3 and 4.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Maybe
Yep.
that's what you're thinking of,
Yep.
but
Yep.
there's only the two like stories.
So the thing about it though is that the series is called Famicom Detective Club. Would they have to like rebrand, or would they keep using that name? Like it seems
I
like
don't
that.
think so. I mean, like with Advance Wars, it used to be called Famicom Wars, and then they started calling it Advance Wars because of the Game Boy Advance. But then, like on the DS, it was still Advance Wars. So I don't think it matters. I mean, honestly, I think the name Famicom is pretty cool. Honestly, it just speaks to the roots.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with keeping that name.
Yeah. I think it's a cool idea. I wouldn't mind seeing some new games because the remakes are maybe kind of a testing ground of sorts for will people
Those still
buy
popular.
yeah will people buy and play a game like this because I mean it was really a deep cut when it was announced like oh they're bringing this back all right um so yeah I don't know what are your guys' thoughts. Would you like to see more in the series?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, it was a very, very deep cut.
Yeah.
Visual novels don't exactly sell fantastic. Certainly not like Nintendo's other franchises. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'm sure they could do a good job with the writing. That's really what it comes down to. The art style of the remake was great, so I'm sure they would do an equally good job there. I'm fine with it, but yeah, it is just a deep cut. That we'll see. We'll see if Nintendo wants to partner with them.
Yeah, I would like to see more of. I don't really know what to call this style of game, other than it's a visual novel, but it's really like a mystery,
Yeah, I
like
got
a
yelled at for
puzzle.
calling it a visual novel. I guess adventure game is the right nomenclature.
It's like it's kind of puzzly,
Yeah,
it's
it's an adventure puzzle game.
with a very visual novel aesthetic.
Yeah, basically.
A visual novel has like some like bad connotations in the gaming sphere. I don't think it has to. Like this is I would call this like oh it's a visual novel. It's an animated story playing out that I get to watch. I don't know. Adventure game works. I can call it that. I would like to see more games like this because we haven't really got much of this kind of game since the Switch launched. Whereas like the DS had a lot of these kind of puzzle solving games like Ghost Trick.
Yeah, I mean, Switch actually
Professor
has a lot
Layton.
more than you. Switch has a lot more than you think. And are getting a lot more. Um, Phoenix Wright is on the Switch. There's a bunch of games.
And we're getting the new
There's
Phoenix
one.
Wright as well, or
Yeah,
the
and there's
prequel.
there's one Professor Layton. The
Yeah,
entire Danganronpa series is coming to Switch. 3 games of this style. Um, World Detective Club or
World
World End
End.
World's
Club.
End Club.
The
Yeah, World's End Club.
Danganronpa guys on the
Yeah,
yeah.
and then I Somnium Files, which is from the same team. And there's a lot of visual novels actually on Switch.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying visual
Yeah.
novels are in short
Oh
demand,
yeah.
but I'm saying first party.
Oh,
Like
first part. Oh, yeah, for first party, like no one else. Like Sony doesn't do it. Microsoft doesn't do it.
yeah,
And Nintendo hasn't done it since the NES. Basically.
Yeah. I kind of
So
think of Professor Layton as first party, even though it's not.
yeah, well, they do publish them. Well, when level 5 was still level 5, which is a whole nother story. But yeah, like Nintendo does publish the Layton games, so they kind of are more first party, but they do show up on PC and mobile.
Yeah. It was that Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu too.
Was that's kind of this style? There we go.
Kind of.
Famicom Detective Club with Detective Pikachu crossover. There you go.
I would,
There's
I
the
would buy
next
that.
one. I'd be all for that. Well, that's all we got as far as rumor mill. So let's move to the last segment of our show, which is the community corner. Alrighty. In today's community corner, we have one community question from LPD, but I think this is a big one, and I think Stealth, this will be one you will enjoy giving an answer to, seeing as you're pretty hyped for Advanced Wars. The question is, what other GBA games or what other GBA game should get the Way Forward Advance Wars treatment?
Golden Sun.
Yes.
I don't necessarily want it in the same style that Advance Wars is in, but I do think that they could remake both. I would love to see a Golden Sun collection, a Golden Sun remake collection. That'd be so good. That's it. That's I don't care about anything else they do other than Golden Sun and Advance Wars. Those are the two.
That is a great pick, and I'm pretty sure that was Micah's answer as well.
Yep.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, Golden Sun is one that I have not played, and I would really like to play. But I'd like to play it on the Switch.
Are there any of my childhood favorite games that you have played? I mean, now there's a Mario Sunshine. You finally got around to playing that.
Yeah, childhood games you love. I mean, I don't know exactly what that encompasses.
Well, just name all the great
Smash
games you haven't played.
Smash Bros on N64 and GameCube. Those were big for.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's one. But there was Luigi's Mansion,
Metroid. Yeah,
Thousand Year Door, Metroid Prime. Essentially, just every great GameCube game since you never had a GameCube.
Yeah. So you're asking, are there any great GameCube games you haven't played since you didn't have a GameCube? No, there's not. I can't think of any GameCube game that I played a bunch of except for Melee. Played a lot of Melee on cousins' systems and whatnot. I skipped that generation. You need to, and
was a mistake.
Well, it's very expensive to get back into now. I don't know if you guys have been following GameCube used prices, but games are going for crazy amounts right now. Like Thousand Year Door. I wanted to get that so I could try it out. That's one of my goals, is to play that game this year.
Yeah, I have that game in my bank vault. I have a bunch of games. No, I'm kidding. But like a lot of my GameCube games now, I could sell for quite a good profit.
Yeah.
Particularly the RPGs that didn't get huge shipments and are pretty limited, like Fire Emblem, go for crazy amounts.
I predict that another 10, 20 years, the Wii U will be in the same kind of boat, maybe even more so.
Well, we're already starting to see that with 3DS games. The RPGs are skyrocketing too.
Yeah, it's those ones that are. I think we had. I saw on Discord somewhere that our buddies LPD and DatFast both purchased Balan Wonderworld, and they're just gonna keep them sealed for the Switch. They're like, we're gonna keep these around. I don't know how many people are gonna be collecting that in the future.
Yeah, that game isn't even worth the materials it took to make it.
Oh, it's pretty rough. The thing is, Wii U titles, a lot of the first party stuff has been ported over at this point. So I don't know how valuable those will be. I mean, there will always be collectors, and Wii U is going to be a hot item to collect because it's going to be so rare, seeing as there's not very many out in the wild in the grand scheme of things. And I think that's why the GameCube's doing so well, is because it really didn't sell as many units as like the NES and SNES and the Wii, you know.
Then it ended up having some of the best games.
It did. It did have some really awesome games. Games that have aged really well. I played Sunshine again yesterday as part of my coinless challenge, and it's like, I mean, it's.
I mean, you said it's like the worst game you've ever played at some point, I'm pretty sure.
It's my no, I did not. I said it's the worst 3D Mario in my opinion.
Yeah, it's infuriating, that game. It's so good in some places, but it's so bad in others.
But graphics wise, it looks great still. Like
Oh yeah, it looks amazing still.
It's like it just looks like a new Mario game still. I mean, Mario definitely has some better textures now, but whereas you play like the N64 on the 3D All Stars, N64 Mario, and you're like, it's pretty bad. I remember it looking like what the GameCube looks like. That's what I remember in my head, you know?
That's what everyone remembers Mario 64 as, and then you play it, and it's like, oh, okay, this is what N64 games really were.
Yeah, even the DS version looks pretty choppy because it's the DS, right? Like it's playing.
Yeah.
I just, yeah, I'm just hopeful that when they inevitably port Ocarina of Time, they do a good enhancement to it and don't leave it in an N64 graphic state. Like just polish up the 3DS version, maybe.
It's so classic, though.
I don't. Okay, so here's a hot take, but I don't feel so much nostalgia for N64 graphics. NES and SNES, like I think still hold up graphically and still look really good. And you can play those games and they still look really nice. But N64 graphics wise is hard to go back to, probably because it's the very first 3D. It'd be like trying to go back. It's like trying to go back and play Atari games, maybe, where it's like this is like graphically not the greatest. But NES and SNES games look fantastic still. I don't know if you guys agree with that opinion.
SNES games will always look good because that sprite art is really good.
Yeah.
I also don't have much love for N64 graphics.
Yeah, Micah?
I like them.
You got the nostalgia.
I'm kind of, yeah, I mean, there's just the Nintendo 64 graphic nostalgia I have, I guess. I mean, I'm glad graphics have evolved, but
yeah, I just remember I was playing Mario 64, and I was like, I just remember playing this game and going like, wow, can video games get any better than this? Like at the time, I just remember my mind being blown, just boggled by 3D graphics. And they didn't age well. That's all I can say. Well, let's. Speaking of hot takes, I do want to talk about this point here. I'm kind of going out of order on the outline, but let's talk about some of the opinions online. This is kind of a weird way to introduce this, but there have been some takes. I've seen quite a few people bringing this point up. That they are not pleased with Nintendo's with Nintendo doing more DLC and releasing unfinished Nintendo games, so I see it a lot for I'm trying to present the topic as unbiased as possible because I could instantly start slamming things right now, but. I see it a lot for games like Animal Crossing, or like this game is not finished. It needs more because even the previous game had so many more features, and it's being resurged right now with Mario Golf. People going, this isn't a finished game. Like they put this out unfinished. What is your Stealth? You look like you've got some opinions on this. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty stupid, honestly. You know, is the you know I don't even know how to explain it, but the games are finished, but just because they don't necessarily have as much content as the game before, it doesn't mean it's not finished if the game doesn't have as much content. Particularly with fighting games, we see that a lot with cut characters and things like that. People are spoiled with Smash Ultimate. The next Smash game isn't going to have nearly that much content, and are people going to say, "Oh, it's not a finished game"? Um, I don't really feel like that. I really don't feel like that's like the litmus test for it. Like, oh, does this game have as much content as the last game? Animal Crossing, New Horizons has some stuff that the 3DS game doesn't have, but also the 3DS game has a ton of content that New Horizons doesn't. Is
Yes,
that
yes, yes,
is that a
yes.
matter of being unfinished, or the fact that Nintendo didn't set a good DLC schedule? And all games have DLC, and people are just gonna have to accept that. Thankfully, Nintendo has theirs free most of the time.
Yeah, and I mean, each new game can't have all of the content of the old games plus new stuff.
Yeah, I mean
Eventually, you just
sometimes that
can't
happens,
sustain
not
that.
often.
No, I want the whole
Yeah.
Pokedex. I want the whole Pokedex, Micah. No,
Yeah, I'm in the
I
same
agree.
boat. They're finished games, and just because they're now adding more doesn't mean they weren't finished before. And if
Yeah.
you don't think it's finished, then just wait 6 months for all the new content to be ready and buy it then.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to like play devil's advocate here a little bit. And not saying that these people are devils that have this opinion, but I do sympathize and see this. I'm not exactly a fan of the DLC trend, like, because I do feel like it's leaned heavily into, and sometimes I just want my game to be complete. But you gotta see from a user standpoint, it's actually really nice to have DLC because it brings you back in even after you've finished your game, so you could get more time out of a game that you've been playing. And from the business side of things, they being able to release DLC makes it boosts sales on an existing product that would not have happened. Um, Third strongest mole points out in chat. It worked really well for Splatoon. So, but he also says it's not as much for everything else. I don't know. I do think that the sales continue to go up each time DLC comes out. It brings the game back into the conversation. That's
Yeah, it seems like a way to kind of get the game out earlier than they could if they were going to finish all the new levels and items first. But it kind of seems like a good thing to me. I get to play the game earlier than I would have been able to.
Another point third strongest mole brings up in chat is the updates also make people keep their copies instead of selling, which makes people continue to buy new instead of used games. So might actually have some more business smarts behind it. I I so Stealth, I gotta bring back your point on Animal Crossing. 100% agree. I do not understand people saying that this game is not complete. Those are the same people that have an Animal Crossing character for their profile picture and have put in 200 hours into the game. I just don't. I just don't get it. Like, there are so many. Like, terraforming is massive for the series. Terraforming is massive, and to say that the game is not finished and have these huge features like that, being able to turn your camera inside, place furniture outside. Like, there's so many things that they added that I can't really be upset that the game wasn't done, or even say it wasn't done, because it's complete. It's complete. To me, a game not being done means like the credits roll early, or like clearly a mode was like thrown in as filler kind of thing. Nintendo doesn't do that. Like, I cannot think of a Nintendo game where I've been like, this is just not done. This is not done. I can think of a lot of Nintendo games that benefited from getting DLC that brought me back. Breath of the Wild. I played through all Breath of the Wild, and then when DLC came, I was like, oh, I'll play some more Breath of the Wild. I don't know. So DLC to me is good for the most part. There is a part of me that's maybe this is like old man Andros that just wishes I could just buy my game and it's one and done. But for Nintendo, we've pointed out most of it's been free. Most of the DLC's been totally free. And the paid ones are really good. Like the Zelda DLC is actually really, really good DLC. I can't think of any Switch DLC besides that's been paid DLC.
Other than Smash.
Smash.
Yeah.
And Smash, their DLC methodology.
Well, and actually, Splatoon 2 had a paid expansion pass.
It did. Octo, yeah, the Octo Pass.
Yeah.
I almost said Octopath.
Yeah.
The Octopath expansion.
Sports games and party games, it's usually free.
Yeah. Yeah, we got free online in Mario Party.
And I guess apparently also Fire Emblem and Hyrule Warriors. So it says third strongest
Oh,
mode.
yeah, that's right.
Fire Emblem.
Guess there's been a few more.
DLC? That was paid?
Yeah. Yeah, Hyrule Warriors is paid DLC, but that's also Koei Tecmo.
Yeah. And they've done DLC for like a lot of their warriors.
Oh, and I guess there is more paid DLC than I thought in Pokemon too.
Pokemon, yeah. But
it's all been good. Like the expansion passes have been worth it.
Yeah,
they're also all didn't Luigi's Mansion have some DLC?
Was that paid?
Was that paid? Maybe
paid.
It was paid. They had like
I think it
wasn't
more
like
party
story,
modes
like
or something. Yeah.
That was paid? I thought that was free.
I think they had some.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, part 1 and 2 can be purchased for $10, and it's some like multiplayer pack. So I think it just had a couple more like mini games you could play with people.
Did anyone in chat?
Captain Toad had paid DLC too.
Oh yeah,
so just about every game now that we're talking and thinking about.
Yeah, I didn't think it was Nintendo did as much paid DLC, but we're rattling off Switch games.
Yeah, it seems like they usually have like one paid DLC or
Toad's Treasure Tracker. I bought the DLC and not the game. And due to an error in Walmart system, I got the full game for the price of the DLC. That was a pretty sweet.
But yeah,
deal.
like the free DLC is Animal Crossing, Mario Party, the sports games, like stuff like that.
So you mentioned your thought was that they didn't have a stellar DLC schedule plan for Animal Crossing.
They don't. I mean, they've kept up with the holidays, but like a major update, to add stuff to the game, they haven't done anything this year really.
Yeah. I've mentioned this on I think we were on the Nintendo Dads. I mentioned this on their show. I think they weren't expecting it to sell as well as it did. I don't think anybody could have predicted how well Animal Crossing.
But still, I mean, they should have had some kind of extended DLC plan.
Yeah, but
Doug Bowser did say that they're working on it. So,
well, for New Leaf, I think it was like 3 years in that they did the big overhaul DLC, like with a bunch of new content and a bunch of stuff. So I wonder if they were going to take a similar route with this and are now like scrambling to.
I think they're scrambling
to get things out sooner. I just wonder if they did not plan a team, because Nintendo seems to develop their game to completion. I want to point that out for everybody that is like saying it's not a complete game. They develop their game to completion and then work on DLC. It's very rare that I'm seeing games in the DLC coming out in a way that's like, we're planning to do DLC, with the exception of Mario Aces and Mario Golf, where they're planning before it's launched that we're going to have DLC. I think all games are planning to have DLC, but they're probably not starting the development of that until like the base game is ready to ship. Essentially, it's in at least in like testing phase, you know. So I'm not an insider. I don't work at Nintendo. I don't know exactly what goes on there, but I just think I just think that it's a bad take to say that these games are not complete. That's my 2 cents on it. Well, you guys got any other thoughts to wrap up the DLC conversation? If not, let's move on to some E3 talk. So E3, I think everybody here, Stell's already talked about. Myself, we've talked about. It was awesome. We all really enjoyed this E3 presentation. What was missing from this direct? Things that we know about or don't know about or rumored that you guys are hopeful to see in the future and want to point out as like, hey, this still exists kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, the only game that I can think of that really fell off the face of the earth was Bayonetta 3. And now 2017, haven't seen a lick of that game since. That would have been nice to get some kind of update on. That's really the only one that I can think of.
I mean, they mentioned Splatoon 3 a couple months ago, a few months ago. I don't remember how long ago now, coming out in 2022. So I thought there'd be something that's at this E3.
I think it'll be in the next direct. The one the Stealth is saying like fall time frame. I think that would be the time to show, especially if it's coming out early 2022. Switch Pro. It's like
Yeah, but Nintendo never announces hardware usually during the directs. It just doesn't happen. They'll
Sure.
have like a secret event for that. Like I didn't feel like that was missing. I never had any expectation that would be there.
Yeah, I forgot about that by the time E3 came around.
It was so rumored. It was like the talk of the town for 2 weeks before every single day.
And then it just disappeared.
And then all these insiders are like, yeah, quick, a distraction. It's E3. they all go into hiding. No, yeah, I think a lot of people were expecting some sort of announcement by now, and there's just been nothing at all. I wouldn't say it was missing from E3, but it is missing. I'm looking forward to, if it exists, I am looking forward to it. Bayonetta 3, they also did not. They did mention Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. Yeah, we all know you're waiting for this game, but here's another game.
Yeah.
But then it turned out to be Metroid Dread, so I can't be too upset.
Yeah, that seemed to work for people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a myth of a game that is now suddenly real.
Yeah, the other one that I guess gets talked about all the time is Silk Song for Hollow Knight. That's up there in Metroid Prime 4 mythology as being announced and then never shown again. But that one's a little different because that's an indie game developed by small team. I don't know how. Is it DLC or is it now a full game? Do you guys know?
I had assumed it was a full game, but I do not know.
A sequel to Hollow Knight, which I guess
it's a full game, I think.
Yeah, it is reason to get like excited because Hollow Knight's like a fantastic game. I was under the impression so this was a rumor, never announced officially, but Donkey Kong. I was kind of like, yeah, it's about time.
And that might show up in the September direct or the September October direct. You never know. I don't think that was the last one of the year, so they might be holding even maybe a few more things back that people rumored that actually are true, but just didn't show up for E3.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They don't want to announce too many great things, because then people will be a little more wary about spending money earlier on in the year. And then they'll tell us about a bunch more great things that will be happening after we've already spent our money on things.
That reminds me, Zelda Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. That was one that I felt like, where is it? I know it's coming. It has to. They're not going to leave that on the Wii U. They're not going to do that. They've ported over everything. They've ported over everything first party. That has to come. I think I'm back to my original. You know, I pre E3 I was like, we're gonna be getting all the Zelda stuff. We're gonna get Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. We're gonna get Breath of the Wild 2 this year. I was like super hopeful for Zelda. I'm excited with what we got because you know the gameplay trailer for Breath of the Wild 2, like it was showing gameplay. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and they had a flamethrower. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, yeah, the flamethrower.
Figure out more about that.
So I do feel like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are missing. Should have been there because the problem is Skyward Sword is coming out in July. If Skyward Sword had come out before E3, I think for certain we would have seen a Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD port at E3. I think that would be coming out like September, October timeframe. Yeah, that's my.
Well,
that's
now
my
that Breath of the Wild 2 is next year, they could have them holiday release and then still have a little bit of buffer before Breath of the Wild 2.
True. And I do wonder if, like you were saying, it's about they don't want to cannibalize sales. Looks like we lost Stealth. Oh, you're back. They don't want to cannibalize the sales of Skyward Sword with too much Zelda at once, which makes sense because I think if Wind Waker and Twilight Princess had been announced as coming, like Skyward Sword sales would take a hit.
People would just wait for their favorite and then buy that one out of the three, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know, Stealthy. What are you thinking? Do you think Wind Waker, Twilight Princess are coming?
I mean, I'd love it if they did. But with Skyward Sword, I don't think they're going to talk about it. If it does exist until it's out. I know that was rumored, but yeah, I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen. I would love it if it did.
Do you think it will be a double pack, or do you think they will sell them
separately?
Oh,
no, they're going to sell it separately.
100%, yeah. It's like, people are going to buy it, so why would they sell them in a bundle? That doesn't make any sense. And they're going to charge the $60. It's probably going to be nothing different from the Wii U version, which is funny because you can get the Wind Waker right now for $20 on the Wii U's digital shop. I'm waiting because I just know it's coming to Switch, and I would rather play it on the Switch, honestly, if I have the choice.
I mean, I can see that as a 2022 game.
Mm-hmm. Next year's the Zelda year, guys. But instead we get a Game & Watch, so I'm actually pretty excited for that. It was pretty cool. That was pretty neat little gizmo. Well, that about wraps up our show for this evening. So, Stealth, do you want to give a plug to yourself and to your stuff, what you do?
Sure. I don't do much. I really just post on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Stealth40K. I talk about Nintendo and RPGs and gaming news and whatever tickles my fancy, really. And yeah, just thank you again for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, it's always a blast to hang out. And he's being modest. He does quite a bit as well. You guest on a lot of podcasts, so you can find him all over the place. So thank you for coming to our little corner of Nintendo news and hang out on the internet, especially talk to Mario Golf.
I am going to say that I am an honorary Nintendo pal. Nintendo does mean a lot to all of us. So, it's definitely important to find people who share similar interests for sure.
Yes. You gotta find those groups that will all hook up and play Mario Golf online.
Exactly.
I was actually gonna ask. I should have asked this earlier. Who is your who are you playing as mainly? I guess you're
I'll
playing
tell you, I
story.
haven't played it as anyone yet. I've only played the story modes. I've only played as the me, but I'll never use the me with other people.
Okay.
Um, so I think that King Bob-omb is going to be my main. I think.
He is so fun. I was playing this game bomb today. My main is I got my shirt, Waluigi, the Wa. I love his like mobster outfit with the fedora.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so classy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing who they're going to add as DLC characters down the line.
Yeah, they got wild with Mario Aces. So
Yeah.
you can see some weird ones. I'm sure. Well, thanks again so much for coming on. If you would like to check out Stealth's stuff, links to his Twitter are going to be in the description of the podcast or video, depending on where you're watching. And if you would like to follow us, you can find us at Nintendo Pals on Twitter. We also are on TikTok, Instagram, at Nintendo Pals Podcast. And you can also join up our Discord. Links to that are all in the descriptions of all of the platformy places where you can find this podcast. And while you're out on those platformy places, be sure to hit all the good buttons, the follows, the likes, the subs, the shares. We really appreciate it. It really helps us out, helps us get seen, and helps us move up in the world of podcast algorithm mess. And we just enjoy meeting more people in the community. We've got to meet a lot of really cool people, and a lot of awesome folks have joined up our Discord, and we've done a lot of community games, and yeah, it's been fun making friends all around the world. Well, with that, we will close out here. So Stealth, you want to give us a closing remark?
Yes. So a couple days ago, there was a NAS America Falcom 40th anniversary event. So I guess in honor of that event, I am just going to recommend that people play Falcom games on Switch. They're very, very good, and there are a lot coming. So play those JRPGs is my motto and life goal.
Nice. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.